Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick. For this rebuild, we're going to be taking Sora's Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, and we are going to be transforming it into Mickey's Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts. Now, if you're familiar with the game, you know that Mickey's Keyblade and Sora's Keyblade are really super similar. The only difference is that the colors are inversed, really. So the gold is silver and the silver is gold. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. We're going to be adding a new chain because the old chain was just so tiny and stupid and it didn't work. So we're going to be adding a new big chain, a new wrap around the handle. We're going to be adding an internal structure to the inside of the sword, and then we're also going to be adding some weight to it to where it will go from 0 pounds to about 6 pounds. It's not a lot of weight, but it's enough. It's enough to be like, oh, this is heavy. So that's what we're going to be doing today. It came in the mail. Came in with this giant scratch on it. Yeah, look at that giant scratch right there. We're just going to go with it, see what happens. Ooh, I need safety goggles. Always wear safety goggles. One time, I didn't wear safety goggles. A tiny itty bitty, little tiny piece of wood that sprayed off from a saw. I had to go to the freaking emergency room and it cost me like $200, so always wear safety goggles, just in case. The Dremel first and just kind of like get most of it off, and I'll use sandpaper after that. That's much smoother now, as smooth as I think I'm going to get it. Now, I'm going to put some weight to it first. So the way that we're going to do that is we have to drill a hole here, and drill a hole here, and then we're going to put a dowel through the whole thing. It's going to go straight through the handle and all the way to the end, and through into here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 bolts at both sides to kind of like tighten inward and hold it so nothing gets out. It's hot today. Eyeball it there. So what's going to happen is I drill a hole here. You should be able to see all the way through it. Yep. What I found out by doing it the first time, I cannot fill the sword without the dowel inside of it, obviously. You can't like put sand in it and then just shove a dowel through it. You put the dowel in first, then you have to like fill it. You have to pull it out a little bit and then fill it. So that's what we're going to try to do. This is a 5/8, the closest I can get to what I need. I'm going to have to, there we go. I got, yep, and it goes all the way through. Look at that. Look at that. It goes all the way through. Perfect. There we go. So I got it going right there, and then this time I'm going to mark off and then cut right off. The reason why I need to put the dowel in there is because when I filled this full of sand the first time, this middle part right here bent right a little bit, and when there's a lot of sand in there, it just started to droop. So I figured if I put a dowel in here and kind of affix it in here, and then affix it on the other side, and then you're literally holding onto the dowel right in the middle, it doesn't droop anymore. So that's what I found out worked with the other Keyblade that I made. Alright, for some reason it didn't record when I was cutting this, but basically I just cut where the mark was. We're going to drill a hole in one of these sides. That's what we're going to do now. You want to do it really slowly. You don't want to like just drill, the hole that big all of a sudden. You want to do it a little bit slower, so kind of like go in stages, do like a smaller bit, then a little bit bigger bit, and then finally you're at the size that you need. Slightly bigger one. It's more or less like you're stepping up the size of the bits because you don't want to just splinter the wood so easily. A little bit easier on the wood. It's totally in the middle, but it should totally work. I'm going to put a washer on it first, so I'm going to put a big old huge washer on there first. Then I'm going to screw this in. A screwdriver would help right now. That is nice and tight in there. Okay, so now what I got is I got on the end there 2 washers that I have. You see, it'll be like right on there, screwed right on top. I have another washer on top of that, just kind of like to help to round it out a little bit. And then I have any screw. Before I used a large screw that was more thicker than this one, but I think this might work, so we're going to use it. Okay, that should do the trick. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull this side out a little bit. We're going to wrap some electrical tape around this, and then we're going to be able to fill it from this side. We're going to push it in a little bit so it seals with the electrical tape because it's going to be so tight. Then we're going to put some sand in through here with a funnel. I'm just going to wrap it around this. Alright, so what's happening is that the hole is actually exactly
the correct size. So I'm gonna Dremel it out just a little bit, just so I have enough space to punch in that tape. And this I just have to do on this side. That should be enough. Good thing about this is that you can always add more tape. Is we've now pulled it out a little bit. We're kind of tightening it in there so it's tight. And then this side is open. Okay, see? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill it full of sand. You wanna make sure that you keep shaking it so that all the sand settles.
All right, so at this point we have added weight to the Keyblade. We've added the structure inside so it doesn't bend over time from the weight in the far side of the Keyblade, and then also we have sealed it up with a new hook for the new chain. Our new chain is this guy. It's huge. They're online. I saw that there's seven links in the chain. I got a brand new latch for it too. So this is the part that's going to go onto the eye hook, and this is the part that's going to hold onto the Mickey Mouse medallion. And then by doing that, we have tightened the whole thing together so that it won't leak any sand. I didn't do this on the other one, I may add some epoxy to those parts just to allow more there to be more of a seal, just so that in case any sand does eventually start come out, we can stop that. And I don't know if I will, because it didn't seem to make a difference on the other one that I did. But an idea is to, if you have some rattling from the sand, if you're not able to fill it up 100%, but you're like 98% there.
A trick for that is actually to drill a hole right here and then pump in some expanding foam, and that should fill in any gaps, because I can tell it's right up at the top around this post.
So at this point, I'm gonna call it a day. We're gonna come back tomorrow and we're gonna start the painting process, because I'm interested in seeing what it actually turns out to look like and seeing if I'm gonna have to modify my other one or not. So we'll see what happens.
Hey guys, it's the next day. It is in the afternoon. I've already been doing a little bit of work on this, just a couple of things that I wanted to change real quick from yesterday. So for instance, I put a new bolt in here. It's a long screw. It's a much bigger screw. The other one that I had in there wasn't strong enough, so I had to put in a new one just so that I was able to tighten up the difference between here and here a little bit better. So it fits a lot better now. Also, I did some painting this morning. It wasn't really working out to how I wanted it to look, so I just kind of started to strip it back down. So we're gonna go ahead and prime this guy. We're gonna lay it down. We're gonna give a light coat of primer. Then we're gonna give a second coat of primer. Then I'm gonna let it dry and cure. That's gonna take some time, so I'm gonna probably come back tomorrow and we're gonna start painting it.
Hey guys, it's the next day. We are ready to paint. We have fully primed the entire Keyblade. This morning, I definitely did go back and I gave a couple more coats of primer because I wanted to be able to sand it down and then prime it again so that I can work out some of the seams and some of the extra damage that I put into this. My thought is that Mickey's Keyblade is probably a little bit more damaged than Sora's Keyblade is, since Mickey's been around a little bit longer. So that's what I did. I gave him a little bit more damage initially, and then I knocked it back a little bit. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to paint this section first, and then we're gonna move on to the hilt, and then the sword.
It's so shiny.
Okay, all right, so I think I'm at the point where I can start to weather it now. It was really tricky. I had to paint the metal, which took a couple of coats. It's not as shiny as I wanted it to be, but I think it looks okay because as long as it matches this part, I think we're set. And I also have the metal chain painted. I'm still in the process of painting that though. I got the middle section done. I had to do some retouching on the middle here just because I couldn't get the paint to line up. But I think I'm at the point where I might be safe think I can cover up some of the mistakes with the weathering. I ended up just painting the red, then taping this portion over, and then spray painting this, and then I went back and retouched up these middle rings right here. Before we weather it, I'm gonna put on a new wrapping with a leather repair stripping. Basically, it's a leather repair kit that has a adhesive backing to it, so we're gonna just wrap it around this to kind of make it look like a leather handle. Then we're gonna close it off with some black electrical tape. It looks pretty cool. I like it so far. It's so shiny.
This is the product that I'm using for the wrap. I found this stuff online on Amazon. I've cut this into smaller strips. First, I gotta take this tape off. Perfect. Wrap it around all the way. I wanna make sure this is super tight. Yeah, look at that, that's way better. Electrical tape. The first time I did this, I did a bunch of passes of it and I didn't like how it looked, and I like how it has a bit more of a slender look to it. Very simple grab. All right, so now we're gonna put some tape around this. We're gonna give it a clear coat and let it set overnight.
All right, hey you guys. So it is I think the final day that I'm gonna be working on this. We're gonna be starting the weathering process on the Mickey Keyblade. Right now I'm gonna be using some Kiwi leather shoe polish. I'm gonna water it down a little bit and then do a quick wash over the entire thing. That's what we're gonna do. Hey you guys, okay, so we are finished. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I finished the weathering process on it. I did a couple of passes of black. I did some brown and ochre passes. I added some extra scratches in there just to kind of it was minimal, but I thought it worked out pretty well. I wanted to give the gold key, I wanted to give that a marbleized gold look to make it kind of look more antique-ish. But I think I like how it turned out. This is it right here. It didn't really take very long. I did do a couple days on this build, but the majority of the time was really just waiting for the paint to dry. Everything else was pretty quick. We got the keychain done. That guy looks pretty good. And then also we got the black wrap on the inside right here. So it's a really nice grab. I wanted to try to make him look a little bit older than Sora's Keyblade, only because I imagine Mickey's is probably older, he's had it longer, it's gone through a little bit more damage than the Sora Keyblade. So this is what it looks like right now. This has been a great build, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please subscribe, please like, and we'll see you guys real soon. Thanks. I need to find a place to hang this guy up.